people like to have a description to know what's going on. Let's see if I can go with these.
Okay, so we're back
We're back.
again.
Please let us know if you're here and if you can hear us. We appreciate if you can put that in the comments. We apologize for the shenanigans.
Same with the mic shenanigans.
Yeah, like this is, I don't know, this is really silly now. It's quite obvious now that there's something else going on that's
Shenanigans
outside of our control.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're doing the best we can here. This is probably going to have to be the last time that we just go straight up live right on Facebook because it's not working out, Kevin.
Clearly.
It's really not working out.
Well, the other question though is if we do it on another platform and stream it to Facebook, is it still going to work?
We'll see, I guess,
That's
won't
the
we?
ultimate question.
We'll see when we try.
Well, we'll have to do some tests.
We have to, yeah, we'll have to, because this is just,
Yeah.
and even this doesn't even make sense. I mean, we've got really high-speed internet, and like, I've got almost everything shut off on my computer that could slow it down, so it just doesn't make sense. So anyway, we'll just blame it on Facebook. That's what we'll do.
Blame it on the rain.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, here we are again. Good morning. Again. Good morning. Oh my God.
Okay, so we should do a poll. Not here, but we will be doing a poll at some point, right? Because some of us think that we're all about freedom.
What?
Did I say that F word?
Are we really?
The F word.
Oh.
Right? So we have to start clearly defining what that is in relation to ourselves and what that actually is on planet Earth.
Yes. It's a very important question.
It's a super important question because instead of focusing on what's wrong with everything, because we know what's wrong.
We do know what's wrong.
We just know.
Yeah.
And something's been off for quite some time.
Long time.
We have to start putting together a vision for the future.
If you would agree, put yes in the comments or agree in the comments. That makes more sense. Agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're with us, tell us.
Yeah, if you're with us, tell
and
us,
then
please.
What we'd like to do is I'm working like crazy on websites and funnels and all kinds of video editing and all kinds of things in the back end here.
We're deep in it.
Oh, we're deep in it. And there would be an army phrase, right, that I won't share here, right, to define how deep in it we are.
What is it?
No, I'm not saying it.
You're not saying
not
it?
saying
Okay.
it, no.
Jim would really be offended then if
Maybe.
you went, because it's probably got lots of bad words
No,
in
no,
it.
it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh,
No.
okay.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't. But
Okay.
anyway. I'm not saying it.
I think I know
You
what
can
it is.
PM me. No, you can't actually. But
No, you can't because you're not on Facebook.
But anyway,
Oh, dear.
like, so we're in it. And
Yeah.
what I was thinking to do is to create a portal in a way where people can start to share their ideas about what their vision of the future is.
Well, that's kind of what we wanted the Union of Humanity to be too, right? So,
right. But
yeah.
this will be like right out front, public, right?
Okay.
So we can start to collect ideas, and then we can start figuring out how to move towards those ideas.
Because it's going to be up to us, you guys. I hope you guys realize that it's going to be up to us to do that.
Yeah.
And,
because the solutions are out there.
The solutions are in here.
Right? The first solution starts with going and looking in the mirror.
In here.
Go look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And every morning, you can say to yourself, Self, I am the solution. Right?
Volume is the same low, but I guess it is what it is. I guess. I don't know what else to do about it. I could turn it up like this, I guess.
No,
tell me, Ari, if this makes a difference doing this.
That's only
That's
volume,
for speaker?
Speaker volume.
Okay. Then let me do this. That's mic.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Okay, we'll do one more thing. My goodness. Okay, microphone on. Do, 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 do.
Oh, you know what to do here?
What do we do? Tell us what to do, Kevin.
I think we need to go to the controls for Logitech.
I don't know where that would be.
Where is that? Where is that? That is.
Go there. Go there to that volume right there, and we'll adjust it.
Okay, so we're back on there.
Yeah, here, do this.
Hang on. Let's just hold the phone.
Man, oh man, oh man. Okay. We might just have to move to Zoom next time because at least on Zoom we know it works for us and they don't interfere.
There's usually a control for that camera, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just sec. Okay.
No, those are all.
Those are all totally
okay, let me
up.
try one more thing here.
More volume settings right there.
Let's try one more thing.
Say hi.
We're gonna go here.
Hi, Marianne. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. We're struggling here, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay, so now it's your turn to talk.
My turn?
While I mess with this.
Oh, okay. Well.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just becoming more and more of an issue. So we may have to either move over to YouTube next time and try that live, or do Zoom and just give people the link to Zoom and do it like that. We did talk about doing that, but
yes, we did.
Yeah, because we didn't have these problems before like this, did
no.
we? When we were using the other software. So this is just brutal. Totally brutal.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
It's just not. It's not there. It's okay. Just leave it. We'll bring it a little closer to make sure we have decent. Do you guys accept someone?
Can you hear me now?
What? Louise? On your feed? Meaning to come in and talk, Yari?
There.
Yeah. Oh, why do I keep saying Yari? I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm seeing Y over here, and then I'm seeing your name, Dari. Sorry, Dari. You mean someone to come in and talk on the feed? Because I'm totally cool with that, but how do we do it? Because it is the same. You can go on and figure it out when you do tech tests.
Yeah, we'll get it sorted out for next time.
Yeah.
If you can hear us, even though, just try and crank your volume as much as you can, or put us on a speaker or something, or headphones.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm closing everything possible.
Okay, well, just don't worry about that.
No, but it's part of the issue, probably, right?
It's got nothing to do with the speaker. Yeah.
No, I guess not. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Marianne, thank you for telling us that. No, I had no idea that Louise had passed away. What the hell? What happened? Jeepers creepers. I'm very sorry to hear that. Wow. Yes, Louise and I have talked several times. Yeah. Wow. I know everyone's having a hard time with Facebook. I know it's not just us. Yeah, I know. I've seen it multiple times now, so.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Although, Ava is on TikTok. And if people could help her get to 1,000 followers, then we could do lives on TikTok. I believe.
I only have 300 and some right now. So, yeah. Um, yes, I know some people don't like TikTok. They have, yes, she had a heart pacer and a
Mm,
few health issues. Her celebration of life was on Sunday. Oh,
mm,
thank you for keeping us up to date on that. I
yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's sad news, but I'm glad that you told me. Thank you. I send lots of love to her family for sure. Yeah. Okay, watch the replay, Marianne. I know you need to take off. That's fine.
Mhm.
Um anyway, we'll just do our best to speak up, I guess. And you guys crank your volume, right? It's the best we can do. I don't know what else is going on, so anyway, here we are.
Right now, it's the best we can do. Yeah.
It is the best we can do. And I do want to say, for anyone who is listening, I apologize if I sound like I'm talking like my teeth are stuck together or whatever. I had a seizure a couple days ago and I really bit my tongue on the right side really bad. And so my tongue's like 3 times bigger than it's supposed to be. So I do find that it's
We'll still
very
get the words out.
difficult. Yeah. What is your solution? I think it is hard work. Yes, it is.
Well, so
Well,
yeah, so moving forward, yes, um, hard work is in the cards,
yes.
right? And I don't think that there's anybody that is not necessarily afraid of hard work, right? It needs to be focused.
Dari, you're right. Our grandparents did work their asses off, and we do have to get to the place where it's not just talk, right?
Right, but the thing is that
It starts that way, though.
let's think about this logically, right? Our grandparents grew up in a completely different time,
It did.
right? So the concept of the tool sets that they had versus the tool sets that we have now. And I say tool sets specifically and intentionally because, you know, as technology has grown, um, these just become tools. It's like this communication tool that we have in front of us that we're actually interacting on. It's just a tool,
It's a powerful
right?
tool.
It is.
Yeah.
So the thing is that we have to look at all of this stuff as a tool and whether or not it's going to be used in a way that's going to help us. So I feel that technology as we have right now in front of us can be our tool to get this vision, right, formulated and something that people can actually start now focusing on and moving towards.
And Dari brings up a good point, okay? Tools are just tech, and that's true.
Yeah.
We are the same inside as humans. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No
As we
question.
were
That's
200,000
right.
years ago.
Our souls are our souls,
So,
and our consciousness,
and yeah, so
and
a more inward focus as well is all part of
our
this solution
psychology.
for sure. 100%.
Yeah, there's no question.
So let's use the tools that we have in an intelligent way, and just the same with AI. It's just a tool,
Yeah.
you know? And regardless of what your position is on AI, right? We've used it and it's a tool and it does and it can make certain tasks, right, that we engage in online easier.
Yeah.
So why not use it as a tool? It's just
Well,
it's
use
whether or
it
not it becomes a
intentionally.
reliance.
Use
That's right.
use it intentionally because AI is being used throughout this entire even this program right
And
now.
there's more tech and tools coming down the road.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the more aware we are, and a lot of us, especially a lot of us that are, you guys that are watching this, are aware of what's going on behind the scenes and at higher levels.
Yeah.
So take that awareness, um, take that awareness, and just keep it as an awareness. But we have to start, we really, en masse, need to start moving towards what we want.
Yeah.
And if you want what is currently presented as solutions, then carry on.
Yeah.
But a lot of us, because we know that there's shenanigans going on,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that there is a better way, then, and we have to also be aware that there are major earth and cosmological cycles going on here as well. People are affected by energies. And that's not to say that some of these energies aren't manipulated and helped along in some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's also part of the awareness of the shenanigans.
Yeah.
But we have to be aware of this. So we are actually in a war cycle, a conflict cycle increase right now, which is why we're seeing a lot of this nonsense going on in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
Um, and energetically, there's a lot of stuff coming at us from the cosmos, or however you want to say it, and it all affects us.
And I agree with you, Dari, when you say the tech is manipulating the fields and we can do nothing about it. We can't do anything about stopping
About
them,
that,
but
but
we
we can.
can do our part
Mhm.
in ourselves to help mitigate the effects, I believe, right?
Well, so
We
here's the
do the
thing. Like,
best we can.
if you've ever seen the Celestine Prophecy movie or read the book,
If you have, please let us know. I'm
if you've
curious
ever seen that
in
or
the
read the book,
comments.
there are ways, and we've witnessed this personally, actually,
Yeah.
last year,
Yeah.
and there are ways to change our energy. There's ways to shield ourselves energetically
Just gonna
and
say something
emotionally,
there.
etc. And yeah, there's ways for us to do that. So those would be, in my book, solutions for what's going on, um, the shenanigans
So
that
I
are going
am
on.
curious because Dari is engaging with us quite a lot here, and I want to ask this question to Dari. Do you feel that you were called here at this time to be here at this time during this time? Um, do you feel you were called here with a mission to be one of the, I guess you might say, holders of the light, right? Or one of the ones to help people to, um, what's the words I'm looking for?
So
To
this,
to
so
to to transition.
okay, so we can only hold the vision of the potential, but we have to know what the vision is.
Yeah, we have to
Okay,
know
so
what the
this is
vision
what we're
is.
getting at right now, is that everybody is focusing, or a
Mm,
lot of people are focusing on what we don't want.
yeah.
And
I,
we're trying to move away from what we don't want. So,
well, I can tell you right now, I'm not trying to be a hero. I grew out of that stage of my
no, but we can
psychology a
all be
long
heroes
time
to
ago.
ourselves,
Yeah,
right? And have that vision. And if we all feel
yeah,
that we've actually come to planet Earth for a reason,
I agree.
right, to hold the light, etc.,
Yeah.
we still have to have a vision of what we want in order to be able to move towards that vision.
Mm-hmm.
Because all visions and all potentialities exist in the field at the same time,
Right.
right? So the more of us, and I believe it's all being, it's an issue of what we're focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if we continue to focus on what we don't want, we're going to keep manifesting what we don't want. So the way to break the loop is to do the 180 turn, right? Start focusing on what we want instead, right?
Yeah.
And hold the emotion in ourselves as to what that vision is. So we create the vision, right? So this is why we want to do this little portal of what people see as the future vision. And then it's up to us to create the motion around that vision. There's
Mm-hmm.
a reason, too, that a lot of, I would say, seers, people that can see or whatever, can't look or can't see past 2030. Okay, I believe it's because it's it's an unknown reality right now. So this is why this moment in human history um, is critical for us. And yeah, we were born into a controlled system 100%, but that's what we know. All right, so the question then becomes still the same question: what do you want instead? So that to me is a definition of, um, well, no. So it's not about seeing the future, it's about creating the emotion of what we want instead in the now. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I wish we could bring you in, Dari, to talk to us directly inside the live, but honestly, I'm not even seeing where we can do that. Normally, there's a place where you can bring somebody in, but it's just
So, but again, but
not
this is
showing up.
knowing that we're slaves, knowing that we're on slave planet, knowing that we're all controlled. Like, yes, okay, those are all the things that we need to
Yeah,
keep in our awareness as what is,
yeah,
right? But we also need to then create a vision that we can then hold the emotion of in the presence. Okay?
and you know what? I just want to say something that literally just happened. I got a message, a direct message from someone that I know here locally, who says she's at a Joe Dispenza retreat right now, which I expect is probably down in the States, but I'm not sure. And she said that they're doing a heart brain coherence healing session between 3 and 4. And she just offered to add me, to connect me in to receive the healing. This is not somebody that I see on a daily basis. This is not somebody that I would say that I'm close friends with because we just don't cross paths a lot, but we've stayed connected over Facebook and things like that. And she thought of me, you know, during this retreat that she's at right now. I don't care if you don't buy Joe Dispenza. That's fine. You don't have to. My point being is that this is the kind of community I believe that we need to be in, right? We need to be part of a community that works together to help one another, to, you know, provide gifts to one another, to be in that sort of cohesiveness, you know? And so I just think that that's a
So
really nice thing that she did.
I'm curious then, Derry, what the solution is.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff that I've seen of Joe is exactly what you have just mentioned, is we have to embrace the emotion in the now, in the present, right
Yeah.
now, because that's all we have is now.
Yeah.
Past and future are just abstract concepts.
Yeah. And they
Okay?
have to be used because that's how we can
But this is what I'm saying
refer to
is that
these
yes,
different
our
things.
energy is what they need, but when we shift our energy in terms of our energetic focus, right? And we bring the love and light and that emotion and gratitude into
Yeah.
our awareness in the now
Yeah.
because of that vision, that's when shit changes.
It's been proven obviously that there's a cumulative effect when people are all focused on the same thing at the same time.
That's right.
Right? That's proven. Like
So
that's not a
these studies have been done.
abstract concept.
Brain scans have been done. Results have been quantified. Experiments have been replicated with the same results.
Yeah.
When humans get together, right,
So if
in
she's
groups,
so I say if she's at a retreat and she's offering to send me specifically some of that love in
yeah,
particular, well then hell yes, I will accept that beautiful gift. Thank
exactly,
you very
Derry. But you
much,
know what?
Aaron.
Right? I will say that that is Joe's message.
Yeah.
Exactly what you just said right there.
Yes.
When we have a vision and we line ourselves to it,
Yeah.
to its frequency, yes.
Yeah.
But it's a frequency of compassion and love and gratitude. Those are the most powerful emotions, right, in the universe.
It's all frequency.
And it's frequency. So when we tap in and harness that and we couple that to a vision,
Yeah.
that's what we're going to manifest in the end. But it's all, yes, it's all happening right now.
Yeah.
And right now.
Yeah.
Right? And right now. So Yes, it's all happening right now in the present moment because that's all we ever have.
And trust us when we tell you, when we say this, Dari, we're very aware of all this stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, we work at the quantum level, Kevin and I. That's how we work with people when we work with clients, when we do our group trainings and stuff. We're doing things at a quantum level. The thing
In the
is,
now,
yeah, in the now. But the thing
even though
is,
we use language of past and future,
yeah, it's just a
it's a
frame of
frame of reference.
reference.
That's
That's
it.
all it is. And I mean, we understand the difference, right? We get the difference, and it's semantics in the end, anyway.
Because we could say, "What did you do yesterday?"
Yeah,
and that would bring in the concept of something that I did yesterday,
yeah. Are you
right?
gonna look at somebody and say, "Yesterday doesn't exist"? No, you're not. You're just going to answer the damn question, what you
Right.
did yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So I think,
I,
and I respect the
I
fact
had
that,
fried eggs.
yeah, I respect the fact that you're bringing these things up. Thank
Mhm.
you, because we want this conversation.
But it's part of the solution, right?
It is part of the
To
solution.
have this understanding,
Yeah.
this
So,
knowledge.
but I do find too that sometimes people get really too caught up in the semantics and in the language thing, um, and
Frame of reference.
and
Frame
it
of
ends
reference.
up becoming a barrier, right? And so I think we just need to be careful of that. That's what I think.
Sure.
That's my opinion.
So what do we want instead? And let's create a vision that we can all be proud of.
And I promise you, um, that vision is not in play right now. And if it is,
It's
then
starting
I
to
mean,
be. There are pockets here and there.
I'm not suggesting that nobody in the world has
Yeah.
created visions,
Hmm.
but the thing is that wouldn't it be better if we all kind of had a vision that we're all focusing on, or at least the majority of us is
So the way
focusing
those
on?
experiments
That's
that
what
they
I'm
did,
thinking.
like in
But
war areas, like in Middle East, etc., and Washington D.C., right? These experiments that they did were very specific in their focus,
yeah,
right? When they focused on love and peace and harmony and stuff, the shenanigans subsided statistically significantly.
yeah,
Okay, so this is what the results were. So it proves that when we get together with a common intent and we're able to bring the frequency of those visions
yes,
into the now, that the others, it's like shining a flashlight in a dark room, right? The darkness doesn't exist with when there's light present. So that's exactly what these experiments do, which is what heart brain coherence is also all about.
yeah,
It's about tying this together, right? Because the heart is the energetic source, right?
superpower.
It's the superpower source for all emotion,
Yeah,
right? The brain's just literally the processing unit.
central processing unit.
It's the CPU of everything,
We've
right?
given the brain a lot of credit for these kinds of things, but actually it comes from the heart, and I expect that Dari probably knows that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah, so this is, but again, Gary, this awareness is absolutely.
yeah,
But the thing is that the more light we can show, we can shine on the shenanigans, right, and the nonsense,
hmm,
and the more of us that do that, and there's a lot of people that are doing it. A lot of people are blowing the whistle, asking the questions, doing the podcasts, doing the interviews.
it
You
takes a
know,
lot of courage to do those things.
it
It
does.
really does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does. So, like I said at the beginning, we need the solutions, and the step one is to go look in the mirror.
and Dari, when you say we have a long ways to go, I'm pretty sure it was Dari that said that earlier on, that we have a long ways to go still, to get to that place as humanity. So I would say this: we still have a long ways to go, where we don't require any leaders whatsoever. Okay, because in my experience being a therapist over the past 23 years, how long has it been? 23 years, whatever it's been. I can tell you that it is individual work, there's no question. But here's the thing: people need to be told what to do.
So
There's a
again,
lot
frame
of
of reference,
there's a
right?
lot of people in the world still need to be directed, still need to be instructed, still need to be told what to do,
Helped along.
helped along, guided. And the thing is that
People
it's
gravitate to examples, right?
yes, and it's how we perceive a leader, right? And it's the intentions of the leader that kind of determine whether or not that
they are of good
they are
character.
of good character.
So
Yeah,
we heard a quote, and it's a very powerful quote about leadership, and that is, until your ego gets eclipsed by your morals, you cannot lead.
right.
Okay, so whether we like it or not, or whether we like to think that we're autonomous or not,
Yeah,
right? People are still in the frame of reference as to who is in charge. Okay, it's just a fact.
yeah.
So the point is, and that's why there are people that are portrayed as experts in blah, 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 right? And here's the ultimate question in the end. It goes to the mirror story or the mirror analogy. Alien drops down from space and stands in front of you and says, "Take me to your leader." What do you do?
I know the answer
What do you do?
because
I,
Kevin
I
tells this
know
story all the
I
time.
know my answer,
Yeah,
right? I know my answer, but for many people, it would not be their answer.
they would think some higher
So
authority
they
that
would
they're
go
supposed to
racing
take
to the
someone
city
to.
council or the police chief or some whatever,
Yeah, religious
right? Or they
leader,
drive them
whatever it
to
might be.
Ottawa or the church or the mosque or synod, whatever, right? But you get the point, is that we have to work with what we have right now. And if we're going to
We can't ignore
allow,
what is.
but
Yeah,
if we're going to allow humanity the grace to be able to change
and grow
and grow, we
and
have to
expand.
accept where people are at
Yeah,
and then start helping people realize what solutions are there. Because right now there's not a lot of solutions for a lot of people.
and realize their power, right?
And this is part of the
We
great wake
truly,
up, right?
yeah, because humans in general, humans do not understand how powerful they are.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why we do the work that we do, because we want to empower people to realize their power,
Yeah. So
right?
look in the mirror,
And activate it.
right?
Yeah.
And take me to your leader. Right? But
Sorry,
again,
making things shake.
it's about being aware. So the more aware we are,
Yeah. Hi, Teresa.
right? The more
Thanks for
aware
being
we
here.
are, that's great. But we have to get to the point where we're not dwelling on, we're not focused, because it's about focus in the end.
Yeah. Everybody's, people like Joe. Like, everybody's playing their role, right? It doesn't mean Joe's the be all end all. Like, we have a lot of respect for Greg Braden, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think Greg's awesome, and I love, watching Greg. I mean, we've spoken with him. It's just, I don't see him as a bad thing because he's some superstar. It's not like I
So we
really
were
don't
in.
think he went around asking to become a
So
superstar.
we were quite recently in a small group of people, and I won't get into any of those details. But we were in a small group of people, and one of these people made a comment that did not necessarily sound correct or feel correct to me. So I said, well, you can argue with Greg Braden about that one.
Yeah.
Clearly, this person had no clue about who or what Greg was all about, but they replied, Greg Braden is not my guru. And I'm thinking, that's a very interesting response, because the the idea was that the sense I got from a comment like that was that this person was at the glass is full stage, right? The glass is full.
So they believed that there's no more room to learn anything new.
Right.
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 What they knew was
Was
the
it?
epitome of all knowledge
Yeah.
in every single health, whatever, etc., etc.
Yeah. Spirituality.
Spirituality, blah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the sense that I got was that that response was tied into the belief that I've I know everything there is to know.
Yeah.
So the point is that when we get to a stage, if we even at an unconscious level believe that or even think it,
Yeah.
right? You might as well stop right now.
Yeah. Get off the train. It's all done. You
And
know
and what
everything
is
there is to know.
so anybody seen Avatar? I'm sure, right? Um, the 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 mother Navi, the Zahig, the medicine woman, right, made a comment to Jake Sully when he was there,
Jake Sully.
right, saying, "Teach me. I want to learn." And she said, "The sky people cannot be taught because it's hard to teach when the cup is already full." So this is true. So
Yeah.
if we're on the, and you know what? We have been through different stages of knowledge in terms of at this point in our journey,
Yeah.
this knowledge makes sense over the knowledge that we had before.
Yes.
And then we keep going and then we learn something new.
Yeah. And that's where that whole quote comes from: when you know better, you do better.
Right. And then we
Right?
learn something new that says, you know what, that makes more sense or that feels more correct. Like,
Yeah.
as an example, like I grew up in a Christian home, and you, if anybody else has, you know what that really means. It wasn't orthodox or nothing, but you know there were certain expectations, shall I say,
Yeah.
in doing so. And then
Well, it goes beyond just being a Christian home, though. Your parents were missionaries.
no, but whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's what it was,
Yeah.
right? But there were certain expectations, right? So basically, what it boiled down to is if you want to be part of this family, then this is what we expect of you, kind of thing. And this is where the
Sure.
programming at a young age begins.
Sure.
So as we go on through life, and I started questioning the validity of all of this early as back as I can remember. It's like 11 years old. It's like, why am I doing this? Right? And anyway, that caused another batch of shenanigans. And throughout time, it just, that has never resonated as an environment that I have needed, and I say this very specifically and intentionally, needed to be in. It doesn't mean I'm not aware. And if other people gravitate to it or they feel it's helped them, or then go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we've said
Go
those
for
things
it.
before to people, and they take offense
They
to it
take
because they
offense to
think
it.
that we're saying that, well, you're stuck at
You're
that
holier than
stage,
now,
or
right?
no, but we're saying that they're stuck at that stage. So if that's good for you, go ahead. But we're better than that, so we're not going to go
But
there.
that's
That
not what
is
we're saying at
not
all.
what we're saying at all.
And then
At
last
all.
last year, I guess it would be late summer, we had the opportunity to do a course through Humanities Team website that presented a course by Greg Braden
Yeah.
and Nassim Harriman. It was a 16 module course,
Yeah, it's good.
and it was called Forbidden Knowledge. And Greg is talking extensively about this now, stuff that's been left out of history,
Yeah.
be it religious books or otherwise,
Yeah.
stuff that has been sort of
That's
missing.
right, Dari.
Yeah, we'll get
We
to that.
agree. We agree.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's not discount how critical, because the people that are sitting in those experiments,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't, other than them being there,
It wasn't about money.
it wasn't about money. It
No.
was about the effect that the shift of energy had on the surroundings.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the critical. And there's actually a formula that they figured out.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So Derry, yeah, we're working on that
agree.
solution.
We agree.
Right? We agree. Yeah. 100%.
We're already working on that right now.
And we've actually got a solution for that. So
Yeah.
that being said, though, like when we were listening to this course, what was being presented by Greg in particular, for me, it was a deep, deep resonance of truth. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm not sure if you know, Derry, about the Union of Humanity yet. But if you don't, then we can have chat, because that's uh, literally all of what you're saying.
Yeah,
Is
no,
there.
I get where she's going with this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's true. This is we've said the same things, Dari. And you know what's
Mm-hmm.
interesting is, hey Nat, what's interesting is that, and we've had these conversations with other friends too who are in similar circumstances, and that is that doesn't it seem interesting? Sorry, Kevin, I interrupted what you were saying. Do you
No,
want?
but
Yeah,
I'm just saying it resonated as truth.
yeah,
So
yeah,
to just to wrap this up,
yeah,
all right? Just to wrap this up,
yeah,
we have to take that moment to do the resonance of truth check, gut check,
yeah.
whatever, intuitive
Discernment.
discernment
Mm-hmm.
check, right? When we're presented with new information.
Yeah,
So if something doesn't look right, sound right, feel like, smell right, taste right,
yeah,
then, it's probably not.
yeah. And for us, it felt right.
It just felt right.
It
So,
was, yeah, and I enjoyed it. So, but here, I just want to address what Dari is talking about here, and I agree with you. But I find it very interesting that it seems like so many of us um, that are here now and doing this work. Okay, not everyone is here doing the same kind of work. We're all here serving different purposes. We all have different missions. We all have
are
different
you the key
passions.
maker?
Yeah, we all have different roles to play. All right, in this whole entire process. Now, yes, that's right. You will own nothing and you will be happy. I disagree. But I don't think that you. So okay, so it's a complicated subject, but we need to address it because I know we've had these talks with other people too who are in the same position, and that is, isn't it interesting that all of us who are aware, okay, we'll say awake because that seems to be the going term now. Um, all of us that are awake to what's really going on in the world, those of us who are connected, we'll say, right, who are connected with our intuition, um, it seems, and do healing work perhaps. I know we're all healers on some level, like I don't discredit that, but the reality is some of us actually work in the profession of doing healing work. Okay, but isn't it interesting that so many of us that are in that position, okay, we all seem to be, um, I would say, for lack of a better way of explaining it, just simply struggling financially, right? Or not achieving the highest level or the highest level of wealth. Okay,
Prosperity.
prosperity, financial wealth.
Prosperity, period.
Yes, prosperity may be in other ways, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I agree with you, Dari, when you say, well, because we say, what's that statement? You can't be the light of the world if you can't pay your light bill, right? So I
But
mean,
then if you're it, but then what you do is you create free energy, like many, many, many other people have. They've pulled these ideas out of the ether
yeah,
and friggin' created it,
yeah,
right? And we all know what's happened to them in the end,
yeah,
right? But the point is that those solutions are there,
yeah.
right? So, like, there's a great documentary. Dr. Stephen Greer did a documentary called The Lost Century. Watch it, right? It's really, really good because
Is it on YouTube?
it is on YouTube.
Okay,
And he's got another one coming up,
June
24th.
24th. Yeah, a new one.
So
Yeah,
the point is that in this documentary, he shows current versions of these free energy devices. So, like, we know the tech exists. We know the solution is there. The point is that we collectively have to be screaming for it, or we just create it and distribute it ourselves,
yeah,
right? So I'm not there yet. I
no,
want to be there.
yeah,
But think about this. There's an example in that documentary of there he showed a picture, and the picture was from 1903. Okay? So think of the tech from 1903, the materials, all that stuff.
not all people, Dari.
Okay? So think about this. And the picture was of like, I don't know, 40 people on a farm, black and white, and there was this device, I don't know, it was maybe 3 or 4 feet tall off the ground, called an earth battery. And it was a free energy contraption that tapped the frequencies of uh, of the earth, and it was obviously maybe tuned to something or however, but it powered the whole farm. 1903.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that guy can do it, right, we can do it too. So this is the 4 minute mile scenario. For 100 years, right, for 100 years, people believe that running the 4 minute mile was impossible. Okay? All of a sudden, Roger Bannister shows up and runs it in 3 minutes and 58 seconds. And then instantly, the belief that the 4 minute mile was impossible to break
Flipped. It changed.
was no longer true.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden, all kinds of people started running the mile in less than 4 minutes.
Yep.
So the point is that we know the tech is there. We know the ideas. If we subscribe to the idea that everything past, present, future is all happening right now in the present, then how is it that we cannot tap into this energy as well? Regardless of what the US did in the past with absconding with patents and secrets and all this bullshit, the point is the energy is there. So one of my goals is to tap into this energy, and one of my life goals, which I would love to see to come to fruition, which I focus on, is to be able to actually create these solid state, no moving parts, free energy devices, just friggin' build them and start giving them away.
Because I don't know about you guys, but we're of the opinion that if energy was free, it would solve a lot of problems
So
in the world.
think about this. That's
Yeah.
the one move,
Yeah.
the one move that people like us could engage in,
Mm-hmm.
right? That would flip the script completely.
Yeah.
Okay? So, we're creating solutions, we're creating environments, we're creating opportunities together, right? And with other people. Think about this. Here's another interesting question. I'm going to pose this to Dari. Where does all the wealth of the planet exist? And I'm talking money. Where? Where does it exist?
Hmm.
Let me think about this. Where does it exist? Does it exist with the 1%?
In a computer somewhere.
No, you know where all the wealth of the planet exists? With the people. That's where it exists.
Yeah.
Okay? It exists with people. So let's put a scenario in and let's just do some simple math. Right? What if,
We create it.
right? We create it for sure. Yes, absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
Right? But what if 1,000,000 of us came together and each put in $10 a month? Because right now, remember that finances, like money, like dollars, cents, rubles, whatever you want to call it, in terms that form of, I would say, currency and values exchange is a frame of reference for the planet.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's not get too caught up in the semantics.
Too caught up in the words of
Yeah.
things here, but it's a frame of reference.
Yeah.
All right. So until we have a legitimate solution for that scenario, right? We work within some frames of references because we want to be able to um, bring people along, right?
Right.
So if you don't have $10 a month, maybe someone else does. Maybe they have 20.
Yeah, well, I see. Honest to God, I've been watching these TikTok lives because I'm so curious what's happening on there. Okay, and you know what? People give $10 a month in a subscription to someone else in their community that's
Mm-hmm.
watching that can't afford it. And I'm
Yes.
like, that's a great community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is so amazing that people go, hey, I'll gift that to you. And they do right on the spot. Boom, $10 a month. I've paid it. You're good. Now you can be a subscriber. I'm just like, that is just, it's so, what's the word? It's so
It's generous.
generous. It's so generous. And it's like, guys, this really does exist.
It does.
It does
100%.
exist in
Right?
humanity.
It
It does.
100% exists, and we've
Yeah.
we've seen it.
Yeah.
Right?
But I get what you're saying, Dari. You're right. Again, like we said, you can't be the light of the world if you can't pay your light bill. I mean,
Okay. So the
and the
one.
reason we say, just a sec, and the reason that we say that, right, is because if you're stressed just about surviving,
Mm-hmm.
it's very hard for us to put our focus
Mm-hmm.
on raising our consciousness or
But that's
on
but
growing.
that's what the light of the world light bills analogy is
That's
all
what that
about, right?
means,
That's what
right?
that
Like
means.
we get it, Dari. We've
Oh
been
yeah,
there.
yeah. Trust me.
Hello. Like we totally get it. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is how we need to get creative. We need
Mm-hmm.
to get resourceful.
So, and the one thing that you mentioned about getting back to the basics, yes, basics in terms of human interconnection, I think.
Yeah.
But I want to be very clear that I don't necessarily think that going back to the pioneer days,
Yeah.
right, is the solution in terms of basics.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not interested.
I'm not interested, man.
Nope.
Right?
We lived like that for a while out
Yeah.
in the country for a long time. Yeah. And I mean not totally off grid, but it was close enough.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, not totally
Yeah,
interested.
so the taxes, yeah, without question, I agree. I don't want to fund these morons any longer,
Mm-hmm.
right? So even with any purchases, like, so think about this then, right? We then, like I said, the wealth of the planet is with the people. So we can actually vote in a very specific way, and that is with our money.
Yeah.
Even if it's a coffee, even if it's a $10 a month deal, right? We can vote with that energy,
Yep.
okay? So back to the scenario. Take 1 million people times $10 a month. It just becomes math. What could be done, right, in the idea and the realms of free energy, other global energetic solutions, right? There's a device out there that will help to neutralize and mitigate chaotic earth, man made, celestial, or earth style energies. Okay, help to reduce and neutralize. It actually returns this chaotic energy to the earth. Okay, there's devices out there that do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what if we had $10 million a month from the group that could then help people fund micro businesses or bring these solutions into existence? Focus then on helping farmers transition over to the use of hemp,
Mm-hmm.
right? And yes, and then you can help create these smaller communities with the correct framework.
And you know, actually, I was listening to Dr. I think he's a doctor. Yeah, Dr. Chase Hughes, and he mentioned that they've actually proven that humans are meant to live in smaller
Small communities.
communities. We are meant to live in smaller communities. Like we're wired that way,
Because then
right?
it becomes the people's bank. It becomes the relationship based
Yeah.
banking system, right? And it's not about, the Fed or any of these. That's just that's a creation, and yeah, the creature from Jekyll Island, yeah,
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
right? So if we can create this global environment where smaller environments are supported,
Yeah. And it
And
doesn't mean separate countries
no, no,
and,
no.
with borders and all that sort of stuff. That's not what we're talking about.
And there's even a fellow in Zimbabwe that has downloaded a free energy device, started creating it, and he started building it, I don't know, 10, 12, 13, 14 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has a free energy car, he has a free energy TV.
And he's still alive so
Believe it or
far.
not, he's still alive after several
Attempts.
attempts,
Yeah.
and he's protected the technology. But I think his car just did 7,500K road tests with no energy input. Right? So he's tapped into 0 point energy.
Yeah, and we've said this for years. We don't have a problem, like we don't have so much of a money or even energy problem. We have a distribution
Distribution
problem.
problem. That's what it is.
We don't have a lack of food problem in the world either. We have a distribution problem.
But I also think too,
Yeah.
the perceived idea that the people are poor and the rich are rich, right, is a manufactured perception, because a
Yes.
lot of the wealth, quote unquote wealth, that we perceive them to have is actually manufactured, and it's mostly just on paper or on a screen.
Yeah.
They don't actually have it. While they might drive a Mercedes or a Lambo or whatever it is, have a yacht, blah, whatever.
Whatever.
The thing is that I read an interview of Rockefeller from years ago, and one of the questions was about authority, and the answer was actually very telling,
Yeah.
disturbing in a way, but it's true.
Yeah, he's just telling the truth.
Telling the truth. He says, when you present yourself with an air of authority, meaning you're dressed a certain way, you carry yourself a certain way,
You speak
you
a certain
speak
way.
a certain way,
Yeah.
right? Guess what? People will give you that authority.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. And this is a human nature frame of reference that we have to get our minds around.
It's human psychology. It's
It's
just the way.
psychology 101.
Yeah,
It just is.
it just is.
So this is why we go back and tie all of this back in to the concept of leadership.
Yeah.
Until your ego gets eclipsed by your morals, you cannot lead.
And there are lots of great people out
There are.
there who could be those leaders.
Good leaders, exactly.
Good leaders with good intentions and not power tripping and not interested in being in control, not tyrannical dictator types. Like, there are lots of great people out there. I even say he's one of them. Yeah.
Don't be putting me up there.
Well, you are. You are a benevolent leader, absolutely 100,000%.
So that's why, Derry, why I mentioned, like, the Union of Humanity has been the platform that we have created,
yeah,
as a potential solution for humanity to come together and engage in this kind of discussion and behavior. And if you have something to teach, it can go there. If you have an online store, it can go there, right, etc.
Yeah, we
Right?
get that. We get all that, Dari. We understand that, we could easily say that we are not at the top of the food chain, so to
But
speak.
that's a perception.
But we have the numbers.
But that's a perception.
We have the numbers.
Right? So we have to own our perception, and this goes back to the very first things we started talking about, is what do we want instead?
Yes.
Because we have the power.
Yeah.
Right? Go and watch the movie A Bug's Life. Go and watch it. Okay? The current reality is presented there in cartoon format.
To make it more acceptable to the human mind.
To the mind.
Yeah. The messaging.
But guess what? The solution is also there.
Yeah.
Staring us right in the face.
It's in a lot of movies, actually.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right in our face.
Yeah.
So when we go look in the mirror
Yeah.
and attach the solution presented there right in our face, right, then we can start making shifts. And the point is that there's a lot of people that think the same way that we do.
Way more than we even
than we
realize. Like, seriously, we meet more and more and more of them all the time. Everywhere we go. It's just, even people that you wouldn't even think, honestly. It's just like, Oh, they think like that too. Holy shit. It's just that maybe they aren't out there being vocal on social media like
Right.
us silly people are, you
Right.
know? Like seriously. So, I mean, the reality is we have the numbers, right? And, you know, the first things first is that we need to be clear in ourselves, absolutely individually. We need to be clear in ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. No question, we have to be. And that requires doing some work, you know, and not everybody's willing to
In here.
face their stuff, right? And take full responsibility, you know? So, I mean, it's a tough one because we've lived for so long in a society that doesn't require us to take personal responsibility for our shit, really. And that's just the truth.
We have been
Coddled
groomed
and
to
groomed,
become a limited liability society.
yes,
So
and
we are
dependent,
psychologically
yeah,
manipulated
yeah,
into believing that we ask ourselves the question, how is this not my fault?
yes. How
Right?
is it someone else's
How
fault?
it is how is it
Excuse it
someone
away,
else's
blame it
problem
away.
or someone else's fault?
Yeah. And that's not serving us. That's not serving us at all. And this isn't about not acknowledging that yeah, there are certain players out there, that's true, that want to hunt us, like Dari's saying, that want to bring us down, you know, and keep us small, right? But what if we all just kind of got over our personal shit and got to a place where we realize, hey, you know what? We have a lot of personal power. Like we actually do. And when you put all those different people together, all those humans together and collectively bring that personal power together, that's going to have a major effect.
Yeah, Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Just
And
watch it.
irresponsibility is learned too, Dari.
Hmm.
You know, and I do
How is it not my fault?
how is it not my
Therefore, I
fault?
don't have to be responsible for nothing.
And that's why we have the legal system to
Mm,
fight our battles for us.
exactly.
But yeah, so I mean,
A discussion which we will not get into
we will not get into that
because
today.
that's part of what we don't want, right?
Yeah,
There's got to be a different way,
yeah,
another solution to conflict resolution. Period.
yeah,
Right? So, incidentally enough, we've wrapped this kind of solution into um, the Union of Humanity.
yeah.
Like this is our platform.
We have it.
We built it.
Yeah, we built it.
Okay, this isn't something I'm pulling out of
No,
someone else.
this isn't another Facebook.
Right? This is our platform.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, check it out. I'm sure
It's just been sitting there
just been
where
sitting there
we
waiting.
haven't been we've been
But we will.
preparing.
Yeah,
We've been
we've been preparing.
preparing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But it's there, you know, and so right? And so if we don't like the shenanigans that, you know, Meta, Facebook is pulling, and we don't like to be limited and censored and things like this, well, then we have a place we could go, right? But it is a paid subscription and it's paid for a reason.
It's for a reason.
It's
And
for
there's
a
a reason
reason.
that the shenanigans is now happening on Facebook because it was free.
Yeah.
Everyone loves free.
Yeah. We
You got
love
to be
free,
free.
but there is no free.
It's not free because you're
Yeah.
paying with every last ounce of your being.
You're paying with everything about yourself.
Everything.
And I think you guys know that.
Yeah.
Anybody listening to us is going to know that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're giving up all your data, all your psychological data.
Everything about you that
Everything.
you would normally hold quite close to your chest.
Yeah. So they were quite happy to just give this away.
No
But
problem.
but I mean, let's face it, you know, now there's ads inundating our streams.
And how do you think they get those there?
Yeah.
Because of what you look at, etc., which means your data's been harvested
That's right.
and crunched by AI.
That's right.
So the point is that we are working on solutions.
Yeah.
Right? There are some solutions that are immediately available,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the Union of Humanity. And
We welcome ideas. We
yeah,
welcome your
100%.
input. We, you know,
And the thing is that the more folks that are able to come into that environment. So think about this. And I'm going to say this in terms of resources. Right? If you look at your bank account and you have $1 million in your bank account, versus looking at your bank account and having $1,000 in your bank account. Would you not make different decisions? Okay, would you not make different decisions if you had the million versus the 1,000? Okay, of course you would.
Yeah.
So we met a billionaire in Vancouver years ago.
Very unassuming
Very
billionaire, by the way.
unassuming sort of guy.
Very unassuming.
And he asked me, he says, Kev, do you know where I could find $100 million? And I said, well, let me check my back pocket. I said, no, it's not there. And he made the sidebar comment of, what about $1,000? And I said, well, no, I don't have $1,000 in my pocket. He says, you know what? You and I have the same issue. Exact same issue. Just mine has more zeros to it.
Same problem.
Same problem.
Yeah.
But more zeros.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So think about this from a, I hate to say meta position, because it's a, meta means above it. Or,
Yeah.
sorry, epi.
Epi.
Epigenetics, epi position, right? This position of being above this. There's similar problems regardless of where you're actually standing. So we're all facing the same problems.
We are. Just maybe at different levels.
Exactly. You know?
Yeah.
So we aim to present solutions, and we hope we've done that, and we'll keep doing that, because
Mm-hmm.
there's different solutions for different people.
Yeah.
But definitely there's some common themes in that. One is that we have to take care of our own shit.
Yeah.
Right? And we have to move into a position of observer and responding.
Hi, Renee.
Oh, hey, look at that. Missed you too. It was a nice wave the other day, yesterday on the highway.
Yesterday on the road.
Ava says, oh, there goes the circus.
There goes the circus.
But yeah, we have to change things from a reaction to a response. And that takes a certain level or a certain batch of work to get
Yeah.
to that, for sure.
Emotional maturity.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And, you know, and that's where, that's a good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good place to start.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, Dari, that if you want to go to our platform, I'll make sure to put it in the comments here so that you see where it is if you weren't aware of it already. Money does not preclude people from being able to come on. So all you have to do is let us know. So if you really truly can't do that, or you don't have a credit card or whatever, just let us know.
And the thing too is that I mean, just a brief mention about the platform. The platform is a private members association.
Yes.
And the purpose to this is that when, and you think about what is a private members association in reality, Costco is a PMA. Okay?
It's a private club.
It's a private club. You pay yearly to be part of the private club.
Yeah, that's just money right into their pockets.
Right?
Yeah.
And what are they doing? You are paying to be part of a club to go and buy more stuff.
Yeah.
And spend your money. All right?
Yeah.
So we've arranged this platform as a private members association. Mm-hmm. So in the end,
we're in control.
Like, in the end, this is members helping other members.
That's right. The members are
it's that simple.
In control of themselves.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We created a private club for us to meet and greet and create solutions for ourselves. Mm-hmm. Yes, we did.
That's right.
We just haven't been promoting it, honestly, Dari. We really haven't, because we just, it's there. Mm-hmm. There are people on it. We're not.
And I promise.
We're going to become more active on it.
But I promise. Yeah. I do not harvest data. I don't harvest information. I don't
even think you can find us on Google, because Kevin.
No, I did open that up.
Oh, you did?
Just to be so able to give it.
Could find us, right? Yeah, but they can't join us unless they check off all the boxes that they have to read the conditions in order.
And you know what's very interesting, Gary, is it actually has an affiliate program.
Yes, it does. We
So
did. I got
people,
him to create an affiliate program.
right? So we're thinking about as many solutions
Yeah.
that could assist people so there's less barriers to entry,
Yeah.
right? But we have to be in this private environment.
Yeah. Don't worry about if you don't have income
We
yet.
have to be in a private environment
Yes, we do.
because this is the way they have got us.
Yeah.
They
Like,
have used these structures for millennia,
yeah.
right? To be in the shadows and be um, behind the scenes, etc., to run shenanigan operations.
Dari, are you asking us where we're located in Canada? Like physically where we're located? Is that what you're asking?
If
Because we kind of move around a lot,
we have, yeah.
but yeah, but we're currently in northwestern Ontario.
So anyway,
Yeah.
so we're using the exact same structure that many of these folks have used,
Mm-hmm.
and realistically, it just needs to be members helping other members.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And all it is really, it's going to just be a matter of getting more and more people
It's just
on
about
there
numbers.
so that we have more people
So back to the
helping
resource
each
question.
other. Yeah.
Back to the resource scenario
Mm-hmm.
analogy. When you have more resources,
Mm-hmm.
you can do different things.
You can do more.
Right? So if there was $10 million a month coming in,
Yeah.
right? Do you think we'd be developing free energy? You're goddamn right we are.
Yep.
Without question. That's like front and center.
Yep.
Front and friggin' center.
That's I mean, you got to realize too, right? Like, and people have asked us this, and we have no problem being completely transparent about this, is that yes, I mean, would we have to take some of that money out in order to maintain the platform,
Oh,
in
yes.
order to, yeah, to pay for certain services and things like that that would need to happen? Because we've done this all on our own dime, right? Every damn bit of it. And so, yes, I mean, there will be incomes coming out of that because that's just the way it has to be. And we have no problem saying that. But the majority of the money that's coming in from this
Goes back in.
project is going back into funding projects for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want. I mean, we've even been asked, would you create a credit union or
A bank.
a bank? And we were just like,
Why not? That's the
yep,
intention.
we could. Technically, I guess.
Because where's all the wealth of the planet?
With the people.
With the people.
And even Catherine Austin Fitz had mentioned that.
Yeah, it's called
she's
the People
mentioned
Bank.
that. She said,
but it's a
People Bank.
relationship-based value exchange system.
Yeah.
Okay, because years ago you used to go into the bank. You used to meet the bank manager. You used to have these relationships with people that were in that. Albeit aside, fractional reserve, blah, 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 whatever. Right? That is what it is. Okay, so we've created solutions, right, on several fronts because members have to be able to exchange value between each other.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be able to share what they're passionate about, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. So all of that exists.
Okay, so let's just tell them real quick. We didn't even know we were going to talk about this today.
No.
But let's just tell Dari and tell whomever else might be listening what are all the elements of the Union of Humanity platform.
Okay.
Before we close off today.
Okay. So initially, I went into this thought process as to what's out there right now that is kind of fractured in a way where if you want this service, you have to go here. If you want that service, you got to go there. If you want this to do this, you got to go there, right? And so on and so forth. So I looked at all of this and I thought to myself that if we have a place where people can socialize, obviously socialize,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Get together in groups and communities and stuff like this. And if someone has used tile, right, they left over from a construction job, renovation job, they can sell the tile.
On the
Or
marketplace.
they want to sell a couch or whatever, right? Then let's look at doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's someone that wants to do a page for their business, right, etc. Then there's a place to do that. So we started with the foundation of it's called Peepso, which is the core plugin, right? And again, I've built all of this myself, right? I've taught myself how to do all of this back end stuff.
he kind of got it as a download too.
It was
You
kind
might
of a
say it was a real divine inspiration for
yeah.
Kevin, and so he just felt compelled to do it, and he
Mm.
did. He just totally engrossed himself in it and built the damn thing.
And the
And
domain name was waiting for me.
yeah, he taught himself how to do it and
So
did
we
it.
started with the baseline social plugin called Peepso, and it has a bazillion features. Okay, it
Yeah.
has groups, it has pages for business, it has a donation platform for projects. It has so when I think about all of these other things, so you think Give, Send, Go, or what are some of the other ones? Um,
Um, oh shoot.
you know those ones, right? Where
Yeah,
people put up
where they
things,
put projects to raise money for
right?
and all
So
that.
it
Yeah.
has one of those.
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. So it
Yeah.
has that,
Yeah.
right? What this platform that we're currently on, it has that. Now we can't at the moment do live streams,
Mm-hmm.
okay, because the video bandwidth issue and
Mm.
storage of
It's a
video
lot.
is a beast.
Yeah.
Okay, it's an absolute
And
beast.
costs
So
a lot.
we're working on that
Yeah.
for
Well,
sure.
once we have more members, we can do more. Right?
Exactly,
You
and
have more
same.
money, you can do more.
So there's that, and then we have a complete e-learning platform where you can become an instructor. You can set your courses, your lessons.
So, Dari, I think I saw you say a while back there that you're a teacher. You have
Yeah,
things to teach. Well, guess what?
and
You
you
can put a
set it all.
course up
Everything,
right
everything
on
is there
there,
for
and it
people to
does
set that
not
up.
cost you extra to do it. It's
No, because it,
all
and
included.
this is why I went with this. So I
Mm-hmm.
looked at all of these things that people would normally go elsewhere to get, but multiple accounts,
Yeah.
and said, let's have one place,
Yep.
right, for one flat fee,
Mm-hmm.
right, where people can come and enjoy all of these other features, right?
Yeah. And generally speaking, people are coming from like mind and heart,
Exactly,
right, to be
right.
a part of this
And
platform.
again, it's
Otherwise, they wouldn't be there.
members helping members. So,
Yeah.
so a full e-learning platform. And then what I did was I tied in a section, what I call Global Connect. And Global Connect is a geo-located online store creation place. If you have a freedom group, or if you have a concert, if you have an online store, if you have a physical store, right? Any of those things, you can sell tickets to your events. You can do all of that sort of thing. You think of meetup.com, you can do that there.
Right.
Okay? If you think of a franchise, if you've got 50 outlets across North America, guess what? You can put them there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You think of Amazon, you think of all of these things. All of that functionality
Yeah.
exists
Yeah.
inside the Union of Humanity platform.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've really gone to the extent of being able to provide as many solutions for people to engage in commerce between members,
Mm-hmm.
discussion between members. There's even an idea platform, right, where people can pose ideas for things and then other people can be a part of that discussion, write specifically about that idea.
Yeah.
Like it's intense,
It is.
right? And to go through absolutely all the features, that's just some of your larger umbrella features of what's involved and what's available.
Yeah.
So, and we're looking to expand, and we're looking to bring other features like an app, an actual app.
Yep.
But again, that takes some more resources, right?
Yep.
So, this is why to bring this solution forward, I think is with the intention behind it.
Yeah.
Because part of my purpose on this planet is to bring people together.
We were accused
We were
once,
accused
many
once.
years ago, by a friend of ours back on the east coast of Canada.
Mhm.
She said, "You know what you guys are? You're the bringer together of people. That's what you guys are."
So here we are.
And so we owned that identity.
There we go.
So everywhere we go, we bring people together. It's just what we do.
So, back to solutions.
Yeah.
So that's what we've created. We know that it's a solution.
Because everyone
for
was
a lot of things.
complaining. Everyone was complaining that they didn't like Facebook. They didn't trust all these other platforms and so forth. So we just said, okay, well then let's create something where
Mhm.
people can trust it. you know, where we aren't going to censor and we aren't going to collect people's personal data and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
make sure to back everything up. Yes.
See, but think about this now. Like within this social platform,
Yeah.
you can create a local group that does exactly that. So
Yes.
there's a guy.
Totally.
What's his name? He does the transition talks.
John.
John Peterson.
John Peterson. Yeah.
So he lives in a place where they've done exactly that within the community,
Yeah.
right? They have a small batch of like 250 people.
Palm Springs or something
No,
like that. Some springs
right?
down in Virginia.
So they have about 200 and 250 people
Yeah.
that have come together personally, met, had dinners, potlucks, whatever,
Yeah.
and actually figured out how to support the community in the event of these
Crises.
disasters, radios, backup power,
Backup food.
backup food, like all of these kind of
They've
discussions.
done all this stuff, you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah. So why couldn't we?
so it's all there,
It's not about coming from fear.
and you
It's
don't
about being prepared.
and you don't have to then rely on this platform,
Yeah.
right, or another communication platform or whatever. It's all there. Instant messaging, it's all there.
And with that monthly membership that we've set up, I mean, that becomes funding, right? We're funding ourselves. We're humans funding ourselves,
Let's just fund
right?
ourselves.
Let's just fund ourselves. So if we have those resources, those financial resources, can you imagine what we can accomplish? Really? You know, and we've got other ideas too that we've had for many years that we can also pull into this once the resources are there.
So think about this.
But
how many people right now are on this platform that we're talking on right now?
I
How
think
many?
there's like 4 billion.
Two.
It's a lot.
Two
Is
for
it
sure.
two? It's at least.
I think there's 5 total on social media, but that's
Maybe.
a lot of platforms, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
It's at least 2
two.
billion. Yeah, that's a
If you
that's
take
a whole country.
if you take half of that, think about it.
What if we did have a billion on the Union of Humanity? What if we had 500 million?
No, but just for simple math,
Yeah, a billion.
right? If you had 1 billion people on this platform,
Union of Humanity.
the Union
platform.
of Humanity platform,
Yeah.
times $10 a month. Okay, how quickly?
Could we get shit done?
No, but how quickly could we exceed
yes.
in terms of value, right? And monetary capacity.
Yeah.
How quickly would we exceed what these other 1% appear to have?
Yeah.
Which we know is mostly manufactured.
Yeah.
Ours would be actual wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And it belongs to the people.
Yeah. That's right.
That's where it belongs, because that's who it's for.
Yeah. In the end, that's who it's for.
Right?
Projects for humanity.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we create our own information hubs. We create our own, all of that stuff.
All that's possible.
Backed up with free energy devices, etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
This is what it's about.
Yeah. So Dari, send me a DM if you need to get a what do you call it?
We'll figure it out.
An invitation to the website.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm.
So Kevin's very proud of what he created. He really, really is. And you know, we're both ready to get it fired up. And really put
It's
it
been
to
gestating.
use. It's been gestating. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's been gestating.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Well, and remember, Dari, you can when you sign up, you can sign up as an affiliate too, right? So you can.
No, everybody, regardless of entry point,
everybody can be an affiliate.
everyone has it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can all earn a little, just a small piece, but it's a small piece.
But
added up.
the way it is, right? The way
Yeah.
the affiliate program actually set up is that when you refer other people that do sign up, right, 10% of that goes towards your next membership.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of the idea here, is that it's kind of a
It's paying off your membership fee.
for the next round of members. Like, so let's just say if you had a monthly membership at $10 a month, and you referred 10 people and they bought monthly memberships, then yours would be covered.
Yeah.
right? That's how that works.
That's how it's starting out.
It's simple.
Yeah, it's simple right now.
All right,
Yeah.
but the affiliate fees, because I'm not going to send you 90 cents, right?
No, no, no.
Or $1,
Yeah.
right? It needs to go into that kind of sort of value exchange mechanism.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
That's how
that
it
was the
is.
intention there.
That's how it is for now.
And everything else, like if you want to sell a course, you can do that.
Right on there.
Right there, it's
Yeah.
set up so that 10% of whatever the course is goes into the Union of Humanity. And
Yeah.
once we hit a certain threshold of user of members, shall I say, and or money, we're going to actually create an official trust, right? An official trust
That's the intention.
that's the intention, so that
Yeah.
anything extra other than basic operations is there, and then we run it from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been a lot of thought put into this.
Yes, there
and
has.
a lot of energy.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of good energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah. So we really didn't plan on doing that.
We didn't.
But that's okay.
There we go.
I'm glad it came up. It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, just so you know, you could go on school.com and you could put courses up there too, and you're going to get charged $99 a month American
US a month.
In order just to be the leader of a group there.
A month.
Right? So, and that's okay. That's fine. That's their business model. But, you know, we've got it all included in ours so that everybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, every single time, the rest is just blah blah.
Well, we're working on our presentation of that.
We are.
We're fine tuning that because I think there's a lot of value to this now, especially going forward. The next 5 years in humanity's history is critical.
Yeah, and things are speeding up, and I know a lot of people are feeling that. So yeah, we're feeling.
Well, the next 4.5 years.
So we're feeling the sense of urgency, you guys. We feel it too, and I do hope that the rest isn't just blah blah, Miss Starry. I really do hope that it's a little more than that. But anyway, because we are trying to bring value, so. Anyway.
So on that happy note, we appreciate everyone that's been here, everyone that will watch down the road, catch the replay. Thanks for all your interaction there, Dari. It was great.
Great conversation. If we could have brought you on, we would have done that, but there's nothing on here allowing us to do that, surprisingly.
But that's coming.
Yeah.
That's coming.
That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely coming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's my job in the back end, trying to figure all that stuff out, tech stuff.
Yeah.
So on that happy note, we're going to say goodbye for now.
Adios, amigos.
Yeah.
Because we have to get back to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you again for being here. We really do appreciate you guys, and we're happy to be back. You know, we are.
And if you feel that there's value to our conversation today, right, by all means, you're welcome to share it.
Yeah, like it. You know, love it, whatever, and share it. I hear a baby crying in the background. We're in a clinic right now in an office, so this is our space right now. So I love it though. Babies, that's good. That's good energy when babies are making their voices heard. I love it. Anyway, okay, so that's the end of our show today. Yes, please share it. We would appreciate it. And so we'll see you next Tuesday at 11 in the morning.
Eastern.
And yes, and I have started doing interviews again, so you guys will start seeing my interviews be shared as well. So I just did a really interesting one last week as part 1 of 3 with this guy, and it's really, really good.
And
I think
share
like
the link with.
Yes, I will.
Our messenger,
I will. Okay. So thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you next Tuesday. All. Yes, if nobody has told you yet today, we will tell you. We love you. Thank you so much. Seriously. Mwah. Thank you. Okay.
TTFN.
Bye. Oh, dear.